Hello, everybody. This is Rick Janson, Denver Realtor, and I'm here with Heather Taylor, Compass in Seattle. Welcome, Heather.
Hi.
Nice to see you, and thank you so much for sharing your time today. We're going to be quick. This is all agents need to know and the time it takes to drink a cup of coffee. So 10 minutes. Heather serves Seattle all the way up to Blaine, the Canadian border in Seattle. Heather, with the market shifting, we're recording this right now in July 2022. What are you seeing boots on the ground right now in Seattle?
Obviously, things have changed like dramatically compared to probably everybody else's market as well. It's price reductions right now. That's the biggest thing. Lots of price reductions. Anyone that's just coming on the market is definitely pricing appropriately, much more realistic pre-pandemic pricing. But for anybody that went on the market 60 days ago, they're still sitting there and lots of challenges. No more multiple offers. Like it just really was an overnight shift.
Yeah, it really was. So how is the Taylor team shifting with that, right? So you take a house to market. How are you pricing it differently? How are you marketing it differently? You're at the top of your game. What can you share with agents about how to go to market right now?
When I meet with a seller, I prepare them very realistically and say, hey, that window is come and gone. And what you think you're going to get for your house, that those days are behind us. And I do comps now just for the last 30 days. I don't go any further out because it's changing so fast. So when I show them what's happened in the last 30 days on the market, it gives them a little bit of a reality check, gives them the opportunity to talk about that pricing component a little differently, as well as if you are not satisfied with now what you think your market value is, we can negotiate where you're going to land on the market, but be very clear. You're already going to sign a price reduction form up front for me. So when that time comes, I'm giving you a phone call and I'm submitting it, and we're reducing to exactly what we've discussed. So there's very, very action-oriented steps. So we're not sitting and just waiting for things to happen.
Right. And that's really, really wise. I love that. Getting the price reductions up front, because you have a significant investment, especially in luxury properties, right? With
Absolutely.
your photography, your drones and 3D models and everything else that I imagine you do. And you
Yeah,
don't want to protect that investment because otherwise you're 100% at risk, right? And so
absolutely.
if you are you going 60-day terms, 6-month terms on listing agreements now? Has that changed?
It hasn't changed too much. I'd say 6 months is my max. A lot of people will do 90, 120. But I usually, like at this time of year, I'll just take it to the end of December and just see where it rides. But typically I'm kind of the same in terms of the length of my listing agreements. That
And how
part
has
of
your prospecting changed? So, it used to be like, hey, for the past couple of years, everybody's just had inbound phone calls. You pick up the phone, you make 20 grand, but
absolutely.
it's different now, right? So a lot of people are, I like to tell people, hey, you keep stepping on the gas. Whatever's been working for you, keep doing it. But what's working for you right now, Heather, in Seattle?
Yeah, I'm still old school to where I write. In fact, I have in front of me a stack of handwritten notes. I'm prospecting within one of my target communities that I work and sell, and I have probably 20 notes reaching out to potential sellers because I do have a couple buyers that there's nothing meeting their needs in the market. So I'm trying to lead gen specific on a target base for that. I've been paying for digital ads, and I am getting some kind of feedback on that and some traction. So that seems to be going well for me. But I always just do it marketing in all ways. I do direct mail postcards. I do print advertising. I do the handwritten notes, which are very personal, and then more of the forward thinking with the digital ads and SEO paid, you know, search hits for our website. So I pretty much spend my money across the board in different avenues.
But you've been at this 22 years. You have some resources behind you. You have success. You're investing consistently so that you don't have the commission roller coaster, right? So let's say an
Right.
agent sub 3 years in, right? And they're like,
Yeah.
man, I'm broke. I'm trying to figure out how can I be Heather someday. Yeah, I don't have a whole ton of money. How do you invest at that point with time or energy or your personal resources?
I honestly found it just as successful without spending money and doing those tactics by, again, the handwritten notes, calls for canceled, old school, right? Canceled, expired. Now that the market is shifting, these people that maybe were on the market 2 months ago and then just right away said, no, this is not a good time, took it off, then keep those people in your basically on a tickler and write a handwritten note in maybe 2 months and say, I know you wanted to sell, but you didn't. If you're still looking to sell in 2022, or if you're thinking about maybe just holding off until 2023, give me a call. I'd love to help you. So there's opportunities where you can just, really hit the streets and target. And I think they work very well. And personal interaction, whether it's a phone call, handwritten note, but target personal interaction really does make a difference. And sometimes all it takes is one or two of those, and somebody picks up the phone and you get maybe 2 listings out of it, or you get some kind of connection. Well, that's all that it takes really for you to at least start getting some kind of inventory in your pocket, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it comes down to having that pipeline that you're filling and staying in touch with and feeding.
Mhm.
Now, some people say that I've talked to, they're like, brand schmand, like the first thing to go out the window, the first thing agents spend money on when they're rich is a brand. And the first thing to go when they're
Mhm.
is when times are tight is brand.
Yeah.
You aligned with Compass. Compass has a great brand. The
Mhm.
Taylor team has built their own brand within that. What's your advice to agents on building a brand?
I think that it's about being really consistent so that the brand doesn't get lost somehow along the way, or all of a sudden you start shifting what that image is, because that's confusing to the consumer. So you just stick to what that is, and also really just carry it out through everything that you're doing. I'm actually have just now added QR codes to everything. I mean, I put a QR code on our flyers. I put it on our keychains. I like anywhere and everywhere. I put that so that everything is directing back to our site. Uh, and it, again, it's quote unquote free advertising when you look at it like that. I have them on all of my for sale signs, just, a laminated card. So people can even just walk by and QR code that, because of course, if you don't have flyers or they're gone or empty, these people are still getting directed right back to you.
QR codes were on life support before
Oh
COVID,
my
and
God. Yeah.
like COVID menus and restaurants like
Oh my God.
single-handedly revived and made QR codes like a part of our mainstream now.
Absolutely.
So do you have the QR code always go to the same place, or do you have specific QR codes going to different landing pages?
I just have them all go to our website, because if they're looking for that particular house, they're obviously going to find it on our website. But on top of it, it's just giving us all that traffic feed to that one direction. And I'm getting, good exposure with that. So it seems to be working. And of course, this is new for us, so I can't tell how the long-term history of it will go. But again, that kind of just keeps going back to brand. It's just going back to my brand, back to Taylor team, back to our Compass site. And obviously, like you said, these things cost money, and not everybody can fork out the kind of money that it takes initially. But until you're at that point, then it's just building a consistent brand within just the small marketing that you might do, whether it's print or, direct mail or whatever. Just make sure that there's some message that's very clear so you stay consistent.
And I love your website too. Beautiful header video, gives a
Thank
really good
you.
feel for Seattle, has a nice luxury feel to it. It's kind of a little bit slow-mo, but nice pace to it.
Thanks.
It has a really good feel, and it speaks to your brand right away.
Mhm. Yeah, we're really happy with it. It's only 4 months on a launch, so we're new with that as well.
Okay.
My whole team is newly launched, because I am from Seattle, but now I live up towards the Canadian border. So I live in a totally different kind of geographic area, but the lifestyle is very much you're selling to destination buyers that want luxury, waterfront, golf, lifestyle living. So that's a lot of what we sell. But because I'm from Seattle, my son is on my team and he lives in Seattle. So he kind of heads up that branch. And then I have agents in between. So we just go all the way up and down that corridor, because a lot of people that live in the greater Seattle area have second homes that they can run to on the weekends. And so we're a little bit of both. We have obviously that urban and the suburban kind of exterior for the greater Seattle area, but lots of that, again, lifestyle living where we're selling these getaway homes. And then, but what we find is then we're getting people from California and, like all over the country, because what we offer, there's so many great waterways and outdoor destinations in the Pacific Northwest where people can have that outdoor lifestyle. So we kind of encompass all of that in one.
Awesome. Well, hey, people, we've overdone our time. We're at 11 minutes. Please forgive me. So, Heather, if people want to reach out to you, they're done with their cup of coffee, how do they find you?
They can find us either at the Taylor Team of WA.com, which is, of course, the Taylor Team of Washington, or they can just give me a call, 425-785-7226. Oh, sorry. That's the secondary number.
Go ahead.
785-5771.
And I should have had a cup of coffee with me. I had trouble speaking this morning, but you've been awesome. Thank you so much. We'd love to have you back, and also on our show for homeowners.
Thank you.